In this tutorial video, I'm going to introduce the Xlookup function and the 3 arguments required to make it work so you can start using it right away. Let's get into it.
On the left, I have a table with a list of kitchen items and their resale price. On the right, I have another table with the same kitchen items with their actual cost. In this example, I'm going to use the Xlookup function to return the actual cost of each item and bring it into column D. I will then combine the Xlookup function with a simple arithmetic formula to determine the gross profit margin. As I start typing in Xlookup in the formula bar, a prompt displaying the available arguments becomes visible. The first 3 arguments are all you need to effectively return a value using Xlookup. The other 3 arguments are optional. Quick tip: Excel displays optional arguments by putting them between square brackets. For this video, I will only do a quick overview of the optional arguments as I want to keep it quick. I will make other videos covering the optional arguments in more detail. Please see the links in the video description. With that said, let's get our values using the first 3 required arguments. The first argument is our lookup value. In this case here, it's cutting board. I'm going to go ahead and select that in cell B4 and hit comma to move on to the next argument. The next argument is our lookup array. Where am I going to find cutting board in our other table? I'm going to go ahead and select that range. Now I'm going to hit F4 to lock it in. Notice the $sign that was placed in front of the column and the row. This is going to allow me to drag down the argument without those values changing. Another way I could have done this, although a little bit more resource intensive, is select the entire column. This will make the range dynamic in case more rows are added. But in this case, I'll stay with the specified range since I'm not expecting the table to change. Just always make sure to stay consistent between the lookup array and the return array to avoid any errors. The next argument is our return array. This is what I want to return once we find cutting board. I'm going to go ahead and select that and press F4 to lock it in. Also notice how our actual return array is to the left of our lookup array. I'm going to go ahead and close the parenthesis, hit enter. Now I can see that I have a value that was returned. Cutting board, $12. I'm going to go ahead and drag that down. And there you have it, the Xlookup function with just the 3 required arguments to make it work. Next, I'm going to cover the optional arguments just to give you a better idea of how it works behind the scenes. Let's start with our 4th argument, if not found. This will be what is returned if Xlookup can't find the lookup value in the lookup array, also known as the dreaded NA. Quick tip: if using text with this argument, remember to put it between quotations. 5th argument is match mode, which by default is always going to be an exact match. But here, you can also specify to return the next largest or smallest value, or even use wildcards. 6th argument is search mode, which by default always starts at the top of my range and works its way down. Once an instance of my lookup value is found, Xlookup stops there and returns a value, ignoring all other instances below. In a horizontal data set, Xlookup starts looking left to right by default. Yes, Xlookup can also do horizontal lookups. Now that we have the actual cost for each item, I'm going to go ahead and determine what our margin is in a percentage. To do this, what I'll do is I'm going to select cell D4 where I have my return result with my Xlookup function. What I'll do is subtract this actual cost from the resale price. So I'm just going to select cell C4, put in a minus, and put this between brackets so that I follow PEDMOS. I want this to calculate first, and I'm going to divide that by my resale price. This returns 20%. However, my cell is still formatted in a currency, so I'm going to convert that to a percentage. Drag that down. And just so that I can work with this a little bit more easily, I'm going to add some conditional formatting. I'll just use what's built in, and I'll select this format here. This looks okay. Yeah, I like the way that looks. Anything that has a healthy profit margin is in green, and anything that is struggling is in red. And there you have it. That is my tutorial on the how-tos of the Xlookup function. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, maybe even subscribe.
Ow! What are you talking about? It's out!